Once upon a time, in a tiny meadow nestled between two great oak trees, there lived a community of ladybugs. They were no ordinary ladybugs. They were the ladybug aviators. These special ladybugs had a mission: to spread seeds far and wide across the meadow to make it bloom with beautiful flowers. But first, they had to learn to fly and drop seeds just right. Ladybug Aviator Academy was a bustling place where little ladybugs with bright red and shiny black spots gathered every morning. The head instructor was Lady Amelia, a wise and experienced ladybug with a heart as warm as the summer sun. She wore a tiny aviator hat and always carried a bag of seeds. The first day of training had arrived. Ladybugs of all ages eagerly lined up. Lady Amelia cleared her throat. "Welcome, young aviators. Today we start our journey to become the finest seed-dropping pilots, but first we must learn to fly gracefully." The ladybug cadets practiced taking off and landing on delicate leaves, their tiny wings fluttering with all their might. It wasn't easy at first, but Lady Amelia encouraged them with her gentle words. "Remember, little ones, practice makes perfect." As the days passed, the ladybug cadets improved their flying skills. They learned how to maneuver through the air, how to avoid gusty winds, and how to land softly on leaves and flowers. Every evening, Lady Amelia would reward them with sweet nectar for their hard work. The next phase of training was learning how to carry seeds. Ladybug cadets practiced picking up seeds using their tiny feet and holding them securely. They learned how to balance seeds on their backs, and Lady Amelia taught them the importance of choosing the right seeds for each type of flower. Finally, it was time for the most exciting part of their training: seed dropping. Ladybug cadets were given small bags of seeds, and they took to the skies one by one. They flew over the meadow and, with a careful twist and turn, released the seeds onto the fertile soil below. Lady Amelia watched with pride as the little ladybugs dropped seeds of all kinds: daisies, sunflowers, and even colorful tulips. The meadows began to transform with vibrant flowers starting to bloom. But the training was not over. Ladybug cadets continued to practice day after day, perfecting their flying and seed-dropping skills. They became a team, working together to cover the entire meadow with a blanket of colorful blooms. One sunny morning, Ladybug Aviator Academy held a graduation ceremony. Lady Amelia addressed the cadets. "You have all worked hard and shown determination and teamwork. Today, you become full-fledged ladybug aviators." The little ladybugs beamed with pride as they received their aviator hats and bags of seeds. They had transformed into skilled pilots and could fly with grace and drop seeds with precision. From that day on, the ladybug aviators continued their mission, spreading seeds far and wide across the meadow. Thanks to their hard work, the meadow blossomed into the most beautiful place filled with flowers of all colors and shapes. And so, the ladybugs lived happily ever after, flying through the blue skies, dropping seeds, and making the world a more beautiful place, one petal at a time. Once upon a time, in a small, unassuming town, there lived a curious and adventurous kid named Max. Max was known for his insatiable curiosity, which often led into exciting, if sometimes precarious, situations. One sunny afternoon, Max decided to explore the town's local museum, a place he had visited countless times before. Little did he know that this visit would be unlike any other. The museum was known for its extensive collection of dinosaur fossils, and Max had always been fascinated by the prehistoric creatures that once roamed the earth. On this particular day, as he wandered through the exhibit halls, he couldn't help but be drawn to a dimly lit corridor with a sign that read, "Employees Only." Max's curiosity got the better of him, and he decided to sneak inside, thinking he might find something extraordinary. As Max ventured further into the corridor, he noticed an odd-looking door at the end of the hall. It was labeled Temporal Research Lab in faded letters. Without thinking twice, Max pushed open the door and stepped inside, his heart pounding with excitement. Inside the lab, Max was met with a dizzying array of high-tech equipment, but what caught his attention was a peculiar, shimmering portal-like device at the center of the room. It hummed softly and emitted a faint, otherworldly glow. Max couldn't resist the urge to approach it, and as he reached out to touch the shimmering surface, he suddenly found himself being pulled into the portal. In an instant, Max was transported back in time to a world he could never imagined. The lush, primeval forest surrounding him was teeming with enormous ferns, towering ancient trees, and the distant roars of creatures beyond his comprehension. Max had been thrust into the heart of the dinosaur age. Panicked and disoriented, Max scrambled to his feet, taking in his surroundings. He realized he was now in a world filled with magnificent yet terrifying creatures. Giant sauropods grazed in the distance, while a pack of velociraptors stalked through the underbrush nearby. Max knew he had to find a way back home, but he was a long way from that mysterious lab. Over the following days, Max's survival instincts kicked in. He scrounged for food, fashioned crude tools, and even managed to make a small shelter in the massive trees. As he observed the dinosaurs, he learned their habits and behavior, gradually becoming a part of this ancient ecosystem. As weeks turned into months, Max's determination grew. He believed that the Temporal Research Lab was his only hope of returning home. Using his newfound survival skills, he began a perilous journey through the primeval landscape, all the while avoiding the many dangers that lurked around every corner. After a long and arduous journey, Max finally stumbled upon another shimmering portal, similar to the one he had entered before. It was located deep within a cave, protected by layers of ancient rock formations. With bated breath, he stepped through it, praying that it would take him back to his own time. The portal did not disappoint. Max found himself back in the Temporal Research Lab, disoriented and exhausted, but filled with an incredible tale to tell. The scientists who worked in the lab were astounded by his story, but were also relieved to have him safely returned. Max's adventure had taught him invaluable lessons about survival, adaptability, and the importance of curiosity. He had journeyed to a time when dinosaurs ruled the earth and emerged from the experience stronger, wiser, and with a newfound appreciation for the world around him. As Max walked out of the lab, he couldn't help but smile, knowing that he would forever carry the memory of his incredible journey into the past. His adventures were far from over, but one thing was certain: Max would always be the kid who dared to explore the unknown, no matter where or when it might take him. Once upon a time, in a quaint little town, there lived two best friends named Tommy and Sophie. They were inseparable, always seeking excitement and adventure. One sunny morning, while exploring their grandparents' dusty attic, they stumbled upon an old, forgotten toy car. But this was no ordinary car. It was magical. The car had a shiny metallic blue body and a wide, friendly smile on its grille. As soon as Tommy and Sophie touched it, the car sprang to life with a cheerful, "Hello, young adventurers. I'm Zoomer, your magical car. Buckle up and let's go on a journey you'll never forget." Tommy and Sophie exchanged wide-eyed glances, their hearts filled with anticipation. They hopped into Zoomer, buckled their seatbelts, and with a gentle hum, the car's wheels began to spin. Suddenly, they weren't in the attic anymore. They were soaring high in the sky. Tommy shouted, "This is incredible! Where are we, Zoomer?" "We're in the heart of Africa," Zoomer replied. "Look down and you'll see majestic elephants and graceful giraffes roaming the savannah." Sophie gasped in awe. "It's amazing! I've always wanted to see wild animals up close." After their thrilling African adventure, Zoomer zoomed them off to the Great Wall of China. As they marveled at the winding structure, Tommy said, "Zoomer, how can you fly and take us to these incredible places?" Zoomer laughed. "I have a touch of magic in me. I was created to show young explorers like you the wonders of the world." Sophie added, "We're so lucky to found you, Zoomer." Their next stop was the colorful streets of India. As they walked through a bustling market, Tommy asked, "Zoomer, can you take us to one more place before we go home?" Zoomer replied with a wink, "Of course. Where to next?" Sophie grinned. "How about the Amazon rainforest? I want to see all of those exotic birds and creatures." With a whoosh, Zoomer whisked them away to the lush Amazon rainforest. They marveled at the vibrant birds, playful monkeys, and dazzling butterflies that surrounded them. Tommy exclaimed, "This is the best day ever. But Zoomer, it's time to head home now." Zoomer nodded. "Very well. back to your grandparents' attic we go." As Zoomer landed softly in the attic, Tommy and Sophie climbed out of the car, their hearts still racing from their amazing adventure. Sophie turned to Zoomer and said, "Thank you, Zoomer, for taking us on such an incredible journey." Tommy added, "You made our day unforgettable." Zoomer smiled warmly. "It was my pleasure, young adventurers. Remember, the world is full of wonders waiting to be explored, whether with magic or with your own 2 feet." Tommy and Sophie waved goodbye to Zoomer, promising to visit again soon. With hearts full of gratitude and a newfound love for adventure, they knew that their magical car had given them memories they would cherish forever. Once upon a time, in a quaint little village nestled at the edge of a dense forest, there lived a young woman named Amelia. Amelia was known throughout the village for her adventurous spirit and love for the outdoors. Her favorite pastime was taking long walks through the woods that bordered the village, and today was no exception. As the first rays of the morning sun pierced through the emerald canopy above, Amelia set out on her journey. The forest beckoned her with its ancient secrets and tranquil beauty. She wore a pair of sturdy hiking boots and carried a small backpack filled with a water bottle, a sandwich, and a notebook to jot down any interesting discoveries along the way. The woods were a symphony of nature's finest sounds. The twittering of birds greeted her like old friends, while the gentle rustling of leaves underfoot provided a soothing rhythm to her steps. As she ventured deeper into the forest, the world outside seemed to fade away, leaving her in a cocoon of solitude and peace. Amelia's path wound through a dense thicket where vibrant wildflowers stretched their colorful faces toward the sun. She bent down to admire their beauty, marveling at the intricate patterns and delicate petals. Each flower seemed to have a story to tell, a secret to share with those who took the time to listen. Further down the trail, Amelia stumbled upon a babbling brook. Its crystal-clear waters meandered through the mossy rocks, creating a soothing melody that filled the air. She knelt down beside it, dipping her fingers into the cool stream and marveled at the tiny fish darting playfully beneath the surface. Continuing on her journey, she soon came across a magnificent old oak tree. Its gnarled branches reached out in all directions, creating a natural cathedral of shade beneath. Amelia couldn't resist the temptation to rest beneath its ancient boughs. She leaned against the rough bark, closed her eyes, and allowed herself to be enveloped by the serenity of the forest. Time passed unnoticed as she daydreamed, and before she knew it, the sun had climbed higher in the sky. Reluctantly, she rose from her resting spot and pressed on. The forest had more wonders to reveal. As the path ascended a gentle slope, Amelia's eyes widened with wonder. She had reached a clearing bathed in sunlight, a meadow filled with an explosion of wildflowers. It was a scene straight out of a fairy tale, with a rainbow of colors stretching out as far as the eye could see. Butterflies danced from one bloom to another, their delicate wings creating a kaleidoscope of beauty. Amelia decided to have her picnic here, spreading out a blanket amidst the wildflowers. She savored her sandwich while listening to the buzzing of bees and the chirping of crickets. It was a simple meal, but in this magical setting, it felt like a feast fit for royalty. After her meal, she reclined on the blanket, gazing up at the sky. Fluffy white clouds drifted lazily overhead, and she imagined shapes and stories in their ever-changing forms. The sense of time disappeared entirely, and Amelia felt as though she had stepped into a timeless realm. As the day wore on, Amelia finally packed her things and resumed her walk through the woods. The forest had one more surprise in store for her. Just before she reached the village, she came across a small, hidden waterfall. Its waters cascaded down a series of moss-covered rocks, creating a symphony of nature's music. Amelia stood there, mesmerized by the beauty of the waterfall. She could feel a mist in her face, and the sound of rushing water filled her ears. It was a moment of pure enchantment, and she couldn't help but smile. Reluctantly, Amelia turned to leave, knowing that her journey through the woods had come to an end. As she walked back to the village, she couldn't help but feel grateful for the days she had spent in nature's embrace. The forest had given her not only its breathtaking beauty, but also a sense of peace and contentment that would stay with her forever. Amelia returned to the village as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm, golden glow over everything. She knew that she would be back to the woods soon, for the forest held an inexhaustible treasure trove of wonders, and she was determined to explore them all. But for now, she carried the memory of the scenic walk through the woods in her heart, a reminder of the beauty and magic that could be found in the natural world if one only took the time to look. Once upon a time, in a quaint medieval village nestled amidst rolling hills and fertile farmland, there lived a talented baker named William. His bakery, known as the Golden Loaf, was the heart and soul of the village, filling the air with the irresistible aroma of freshly baked bread every morning. William's passion for baking had been kindled during his childhood. Growing up in a humble cottage with his parents, he would often watch his mother knead dough, lovingly shaping it into loaves before placing them in the oven. The mesmerizing dance of flour, water, and yeast enchanted young William, and he knew from an early age that he wanted to carry on the family tradition. As he grew older, William's desire to learn the art of baking led him to seek an apprenticeship with the village's renowned master baker, Bartholomew. Under Bartholomew's watchful eye, William honed his skills, mastering the delicate balance of ingredients and learning the secrets of creating bread that was not only delicious but also a work of art. Years passed, and William's dedication and talent shone through. With Bartholomew's blessing, he ventured out on his own, setting up the Golden Loaf in a quaint corner of the village. The bakery became an instant success, drawing villagers from far and wide who craved the heavenly taste of William's bread. The Golden Loaf soon became the bustling center of the village. From the crack of dawn, villagers lined up outside the bakery, eagerly awaiting the doors to open. William's infectious smile greeted each customer, his hands moving deftly as he shaped loaves, twisted pastries, and sprinkled toppings with precision. Word of William's skill as a baker spread throughout the region, attracting the attention of nobles and knights passing through the village. His creations found favor with the highborn, and William began receiving requests to bake for lavish banquets and grand celebrations held in nearby castles. Yet despite the accolades and recognition, William remained deeply rooted in his village. He believed in the power of bread to bring people together, to nourish not only their bodies, but also their spirits. Every loaf that emerged from his ovens held a piece of his soul, a testament to his unwavering dedication. However, life in a medieval village was not without its challenges. Crops could fail, winters could be harsh, and the threat of marauders loomed ever present. Yet William persevered, adapting to the changing seasons and finding solace in the rhythmic work of kneading dough, the one constant in his ever-changing world. One day, a devastating drought struck the region. The fields withered, and the once lush farmlands turned into parched wastelands. The villagers faced hunger and despair, their spirits as dry as the cracked earth. Seeing the suffering around him, William felt a deep sense of responsibility. He rallied the village, urging them not to lose hope. Drawing from his own meager reserves, he baked bread and distributed it to those in need. The simple act of breaking bread together brought solace and strength to the villagers, reminding them that they were not alone in their struggle. News of William's kindness spread far and wide. Moved by his selflessness, the neighboring villages and even the nobles from distant castles came together to provide aid and support. The spirit of unity and resilience that William had fostered in his village inspired others to lend a helping hand. The drought eventually lifted, and the village flourished once more. The Golden Loaf thrived as villagers returned, grateful not only for William's extraordinary baking skills, but also for the love and compassion he had shown during their darkest days. As the years passed, William grew older, his hair graying and his hands weathered from a lifetime of kneading dough. He took on an apprentice of his own, passing down the ancient secrets of bread making to a new generation. When his time finally came, the entire village mourned the loss of their beloved baker, but they knew that his legacy would live on through the loaves of bread that continued to nourish their bodies and souls. To honor William's memory, the villagers built a statue in the center of the village square. A statue of a humble baker with a warm smile, his arms outstretched, holding a loaf of bread. The statue stood as a reminder of the power of a simple act of kindness and the profound impact that one person's passion and dedication can have on an entire community. And so, the legend of William, the baker of the golden loaf, lived on in the hearts and minds of the villagers, forever entwined with the history of their medieval village. Years passed since the death of William, the beloved baker of the golden loaf. The village continued to thrive thanks to the part of the legacy he left behind. The aroma of freshly baked bread still lingered through the streets, carrying with it the memories of William's dedication and compassion. William's apprentice, a young and talented baker named Emma, had taken up the mantle of the golden loaf. She had learned from the master himself, absorbing his techniques and inheriting his passion for baking. Emma possessed a natural talent and a deep understanding of the art, ensuring that William's legacy would live on. Under Emma's skilled hands, the golden loaf flourished. She experimented with new flavors, introducing innovative breads that delighted the villagers' taste buds. Emma embraced the traditions instilled by William, but also infused her creations with her own creative flair, forging a unique identity for the bakery. The village continued to rely on the golden loaf, not only for its delectable bread, but also as a gathering place for the community. Emma understood the power of a shared meal, and she encouraged the villagers to come together, breaking bread and fostering a sense of unity. Just as William had done during the drought, Emma recognized the importance of giving back to the community. She organized charity events, using the bakery as a platform to support those in need. The villagers admired her generosity and dedication, seeing in her the same spirit that had made William a beloved figure. As the years went by, Emma's own apprentice joined the golden loaf. Together, they upheld the traditions and values that had been passed down through generations. Emma, now with streaks of gray in her hair, took great joy in teaching the apprentice the art of baking, just as William had done for her. The legacy of the golden loaf expanded beyond the village, with visitors coming from far and wide to taste the renowned bread and learn from the esteemed bakers. The bakery became a hub of inspiration, attracting aspiring bakers who wished to emulate the spirit and success of William and Emma. With each passing generation, the golden loaf continued to thrive, a testament to the enduring power of passion and dedication. The statue of William, standing tall in the village square, served as a constant reminder of the rich history and the humble beginnings of the bakery. The story of the bakers who carried William's legacy lived on, passed down from parents to children like the secret ingredients in a treasured recipe. The village celebrated the baker's contribution each year, holding a grand festival dedicated to the art of baking and the enduring spirit of community. And so, the tradition of the golden loaf endured, forever entwined with the fabric of the village. The bakers' love for their craft, their commitment to their community, and their unwavering dedication to excellence ensured that William's legacy lived on, inspiring future generations to embrace the art of baking and the power of a warm loaf of bread. Fast forward hundreds of years, and the humble village that was once home to the golden loaf found itself on the cusp of change. A small community had grown, and the news of the legendary bakery had reached far beyond its borders. People from neighboring towns and cities flocked to taste the exquisite bread and experience the warm, welcoming atmosphere that the golden loaf offered. Word spread like wildfire, catching the attention of entrepreneurs and investors who saw the potential for something greater. Among them was Daniel Thornton, a visionary businessman with a passion for preserving tradition and spreading the joy of freshly baked bread. Daniel approached Julie, the current custodian of the golden loaf, with a proposition. He saw an opportunity to turn the golden loaf into a franchise, bringing its delicious bread and beloved traditions to a wider audience. Julie was hesitant at first, worried that expanding the golden loaf might dilute its authenticity and compromise the values that had been upheld for generations. But after careful consideration and discussions with her fellow bakers, Julie agreed to collaborate with Daniel to embark on this new venture. The Golden Loaf franchise was born, and its first expansion took place in a nearby bustling town. With Julie's guidance and Daniel's business acumen, the bakery quickly gained a loyal following. The villagers of the original Golden Loaf were proud to see their beloved bakery spreading its wings and sharing its magic with more people. The success of the first franchise led to further expansions, each carefully planned to retain the essence of the original Golden Loaf. Julie and Daniel handpicked passionate bakers, trained them meticulously, and ensured that each new bakery adhered to the high standards set by William and Julie. As the Golden Loaf franchise grew, its reputation for exceptional bread and warm hospitality spread far and wide. The distinctive aroma of freshly baked bread now lingered through the bustling city streets as people from all walks of life indulged in the delectable treats that had once been a cherished secret of a small village. Despite the expansion, Julie remained closely involved in the franchise, ensuring that the soul of the Golden Loaf remained intact. She traveled from bakery to bakery, sharing her expertise and mentoring the new generation of bakers. Julie's presence reassured the franchise's customers that although the Golden Loaf had grown, it had not lost its personal touch and commitment to quality. Years turned into decades, and the Golden Loaf franchise continued to thrive, spreading its warmth and delicious bread across the country. It became a symbol of tradition, community, and a reminder of the humble origins from which it sprang. The statue of William, standing tall in the village square, remained a strong reminder of the bakery's roots. Villagers still gathered every year to celebrate the legacy of William, Emma, and the Golden Loaf franchise. The festival grew grander with each passing year, attracting not only locals but also visitors from all corners who wished to pay homage to the bakery that had touched so many lives. As time marched forward, the Golden Loaf franchise stayed true to its roots while embracing innovation. New flavors and bread varieties were introduced, reflecting the evolving taste of the customers. Yet the heart and soul of the Golden Loaf remained constant, a dedication to crafting bread with love and passion, nourishing both the body and the spirit. And so the story of the Golden Loaf continued, a tale of tradition and growth, where the legacy of a village baker transcended time and boundaries. From a quaint medieval village to a renowned franchise, the Golden Loaf brought joy, connection, and the timeless magic of freshly baked bread to all who sought its warmth. The Magical Blue Blanket. Chapter 1. The Lost Blanket. Once upon a time, in a small, cozy house nestled at the edge of a mystical forest, lived a young boy named Oliver. Oliver was a curious and imaginative child, always seeking adventure in the ordinary. His most prized possession was his beloved blue blanket. It was no ordinary blanket, for it possessed a touch of magic. One sunny afternoon, as Oliver's mother gathered the laundry, the magical blue blanket accidentally slipped from her grasp and fell into the depths of the washing machine. Oliver, unaware of this mishap, went about his day, completely oblivious to the unfolding adventure. As the washing machine rumbled to life, the blanket swirled and twirled in a mesmerizing whirlpool. Suddenly, the washing machine emitted a bright burst of light, and before anyone could comprehend what had happened, the magical blanket disappeared from the washer, transporting itself to an enchanted land far away. Chapter 2. A Journey to the Enchanted Realm. In the enchanted land, the magical blanket found itself amidst rolling hills, sparkling rivers, and a colorful forest. It landed in a meadow filled with talking animals, fairies, and other magical creatures. They marveled at the arrival of the blanket, sensing its extraordinary aura. Word spread quickly throughout the enchanted realm about the arrival of the magical blanket. The fairies whispered tales of its mysterious powers, while the animals yearned for its comforting embrace. The blanket, sensing the needs of the creatures around it, began to share its warmth and magic, bringing comfort and joy to all. Meanwhile, back in the real world, Oliver discovered his missing blanket. His heart sank as he realized it was nowhere to be found. He searched high and low, under beds and behind furniture, but the magical blanket seemed to have vanished into thin air. Oliver couldn't sleep without its comforting presence, and he longed for its return. Chapter 3. A Happy Reunion. In the enchanted realm, as the magical blanket continued to spread its warmth and magic, whispers reached the ears of a wise old owl. The owl, known for its wisdom and keen intuition, sensed the longing of a little boy for his lost blanket. With a gentle hoot, the owl called upon all of the creatures of the enchanted realm to return the blanket to its rightful owner. Back in Oliver's room, a gentle breeze rustled the curtains, and a soft glow enveloped the entire space. As Oliver turned his gaze toward his bed, he couldn't believe his eyes. There, resting neatly atop his pillow, was his beloved blue blanket. With a heart full of joy, Oliver leaped onto his bed and hugged the blanket tight. He felt the warmth of its magic embrace him, and he knew in his heart that it had returned from a grand adventure. The blanket, though transformed by its time in the enchanted realm, still possessed the same comforting aura that Oliver had always cherished. From that day forward, Oliver and his magical blanket were inseparable. They embarked on countless adventures together, exploring both the real world and the enchanted realms of their imagination. And in every journey, they shared warmth, comfort, and a touch of magic with all they encountered.